Yes. So I think one of the things that it is an overwhelming situation, no doubt, and quite unprecedented, at least for many of us. We have not seen through the probably the much worse time during the period during the first and second Great War. So it is an overwhelming situation for many of us. So quite naturally, these are moments when the worst and the best can come out. And what I see, which gives me a lot of hope, is that during this moment of crisis, there is the best which is coming out of us human beings. And I see a lot of people going beyond the boundaries of different kinds, boundaries of nationalities, religion, and all other ideologies, and coming together in a common aspiration. So I look at it like a Vishwa Yagna going on. And yesterday we had a Thanksgiving in which people from all over India united. And, we also saw people in other parts of the world who came together. So, one is something happening on the surface, the visible, tangible things, which things like, doctors, patients, men who are helping everyone in crisis, the politics, the governments, the administration, everybody coming together to see what they can do. But I think that there is something else which is happening behind, which is as important, if not equally important. And I think we are being rewired in an inner way, getting deeply connected with a deep sense of sympathy and compassion, not only towards each other, but we are also reflecting, at least some of us I know have been reflecting, how we as human beings have dealt with planet Earth. So it's not just about us humans. I think that will still be a human centric point of view, but us as inhabitants of Earth, as co inhabitants of countless creatures who have been dwelling here and who have a right to live, and we have probably forgotten all of them, and it's like a reset button. I have seen something very interesting happening, at least here. I can just share a small little experience. I mean, yesterday was a total lockdown, and in India, we are used to so many people coming through the streets and all that. And for a change, we were hearing all the birds, the sound of the seas, and everything. And it looked for a moment, it flashed this way, at least in my thoughts eye, mind's eye, that it's like nature has asked us to little bit back off, to step back, so that she can heal the earth. So I felt there is a double healing going on. There is a healing of outwardly of people who are sick, and but also an inner healing going on. Our lives have been ruptured by various kinds of division, and that division has got reflected in this extreme kind of rupture where we are at war with almost every creature, from the infinitesimal virus and who knows, splitting the atoms, to right up to animals whom we have consumed for our own greed. And it's a time to reflect and rethink and reset and reorient our life, in a certain sense rewire ourselves. And that's what seems to be happening. I think eventually that's what we have to look beyond the present crisis. That's where the solution is going to come from. It's going to come from humanity scaling a step higher. So even for those who are caught right in the middle of the battle, who are battling with their illness, with their unique challenges, with their families, relatives, I feel we have to learn to go beyond our present moment and call in the intervention of higher forces. Right now, we have been driven by forces of fear, a kind of survival instinct, anger, greed, all kinds of emotions that have driven us so far. And this is the time when we have to call in the intervention of higher forces, forces of calm, forces of harmony, forces of order. At one level, all illnesses are basically forces of disorder and disintegration, without going into the semantics and the origin of virus, microbes. But, well, they are forces of disintegration, and they feed on the disintegrating energies. what is called is India as tamorajasic energies. So, when we lead a life which is predominantly tamorajasic, a life of inertia, unwillingness to change, a life of excitement, of a feverish anguish, and fear and greed and desires that make us run all around. This is like a sobering effect. We have to now open to the rajosattvic gunas, calling in forces of harmony, of balance, of moderation, of calm, of compassion, of kindness. And I'm sure if we do that, and we will do that, because deep within us, there is something which always is aware of this deep oneness of all things. We have lost it, no doubt, but we'll reconnect sooner or later. I'm sure there are people who are already reconnecting. It's not just about our immune system, which is, of course, important, but even from the immune system point of view, if we remain in a state of peace, in a state of optimism, despite all the pessimism being thrown about, I think this is what is going to carry us through, not just carry us through this crisis, but to carry us through to a higher state of humanity. And if I look back last 15 years, 20 years, we had quite a few of them which came. SARS and Ebola and MERS and swine flu and many other things were coming, but they were like just a little reminders that look, we need to change. But this one has come, which is compelling us to change, simply because of its power of contagion. Now, let's change this contagion into this power of contagion in a different way. Now, this is a negative contagion of fear, of disorder, of forces of illness, of disintegration. Let's change it into a contagion of peace, of unity, of truth, of light, of deep harmony, and let this be from our side the another kind of contagion to spread into the world.